Now we're going to talk about any special challenges or joys in your life, and how did you learn to advocate for yourself? You obviously have a great self-confidence and self-esteem. How did you get that?
That's from my family. Since they're performers, it takes a lot of confidence to be on the stage and sing or perform. But I learned to be an advocate from my mom. And because, being a performer, that was part of our normal everyday life. But I didn't really understand that I needed an advocate until I saw the things that my mom was doing. I didn't really pay attention growing up, elementary school, middle school. But when I got into high school, she really began to push more visibly in front of me. And I bet that was to help me learn to advocate for myself. In the past, she was my invisible advocate. I want my child to receive all education. She's going to go to this school. This is what her educational plan is going to look like. But when I had challenges, for example, I'm not sure if it's because I had good oral skills, but I was required to take a Spanish class. And I had such difficulty with it. I just could not understand the language. The lip reading skill is a whole another set of skills compared to English lip reading skill. And they forced me to continue to take the class. So I did what I normally did. My mom said books are the answer to everything. I went to the library and I found a book and it had explanation in the front, a diagram of how to place your tongue, your teeth in a specific location when you're producing certain speech sounds. So that was basically my Spanish speech tutor. And I said, I'm going to pass this class because my mom would not let me leave the class. The Spanish teacher said, we cannot teach her. I refused. She just don't have the ability. And my mom says she can learn the language. So I read the book and I came back a new person. I knew how to produce the sound. And my teacher was shocked. And she said, okay, well, I guess you can learn the language. And I ended up taking 2 years Spanish, 2 years of Spanish. And I was in second year Spanish by the time I started my freshman year in college. And so that tells me nothing is impossible. I mean, my mom really pushed and pushed. And from that point, I became an advocate for myself. So whenever someone told me, no, it cannot be done, or you can't do it, it's impossible, I always said, that's not true. It's always possible. There's always room for improvement. And from that point, I've been pushing ever since.
How did your mom feel about you learning sign language when you finally realized that you needed to learn sign language?
That she was confused. She thought that I was learning sign language to communicate with my deaf friend. She didn't really think that it was for me as well. And I don't think it really clicked into her mind and my family members' mind until they saw the relationship that I had with my daughter. And from an early age, she was signing since she was a baby. And they realized that's the only way we communicate. Even though she can speak orally, but we sign all the time when we're with my family members. And that's when she realized, okay, so she does depend on sign language, but she understands me. So she didn't really feel like she needed to make that change. But as I get older, I think she realized, yes, I should have learned sign language in the beginning, but she probably feels it's too late, that she can't learn. I'm too old to learn sign language. But I have many hearing friends that are 60, 70, 80 years old, and they became fluent in sign language. They wanted to learn sign language, and they did learn sign language. So if it's your grandparent, or your aunts or uncles that are older, anybody can learn sign language. The babies, they can learn sign language. So, with my nieces, they sign some to me. They realize she can't hear. Auntie can't hear. They have to sign a little bit to her so she can understand me. And so I have more family members other than that fluently signing. They use some signs with me because now they realize that I need that in order to communicate. Or now they realize I need technology to communicate because we lack the signing ability. But they understand me a lot better than me as a deaf person as opposed to in the past when I was growing up. They were just trying to give me what they thought was best for me. But as I got older, I began to learn what was best for me on my own, and they accepted that.
Thank you.